Hello, friends.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. Good morning, Belle.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
Val's not.
Y'all are the first people that get to, hear me in my morning glory.
This is
My first words.
authentic
It's
IG
listen.
lives over here now.
I'm like still just. I got my liquids, like just
What
I'm
is
like
that?
fine.
coffee and water.
Coffee and water. Mm,
Hydration station.
I've
Well,
never,
all coffee's made with water, like or
yeah,
you put the more
but
water in it, or
I was wondering if my question was going to be stupid or not because I'm like coffee and water,
Two
but it
separate things, guys. Two separate things. You drink a little bit of coffee, you drink a little bit of water. It's like alcohol. Like in between, you gotta hydrate. Come on,
mm, gotcha. You got your
enjoy it.
midday coffee, Ange.
always got it going.
How many cafes do you drink a day?
Um, we don't need to expose my addiction, but it's real. I've got my whole setup. Yeah. How about you?
Yours. Two.
Hmm.
I try to stick to one, but sometimes, those 5:30 practices is like, I need a quick cafe.
Don't know. Do not know.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't have to reschedule on you guys because, when you know how it is with these teams, you have something planned and then all of a sudden, in 1 hour therapy at this time. But I do
Mm-hmm.
have a 2 o'clock. So literally just dropped my bags and got home 1 minute to be in time for this IG live.
Wow.
Oh, welcome. Oh, yeah.
Yo, I like at this
Schedule
time.
on.
I don't know how we did like 2 days. I'm trying to go to the gym. Like I have something to do in the mornings just this week. So I had to go to the gym in the evenings for like 5:30 workout. I cannot. I'm like the day's almost over. I'm already tired. Like the amount of energy I need to go to the gym at 5:30, I'm like tomorrow. Or like I'll go jog. Or like I don't even know. Like I cannot. It's been so hard. I'm like, no, no, no. I need my 9 a.m. Like
Yeah.
my mind can only handle like morning, wake up, like I'm already dressed for the gym, like I'm doing it. If not, not happening.
I had to like figure out what my best routine was with working out. I tried in the morning, and then I tried midday, and then I tried night. It's like you gotta find your flow, You midday, I'm midday
Yeah.
online, and then it's like that perfect boost, little midday jog.
So you don't just keep the same routine. You don't try to like at least go usually the times you would go when you were doing 2 days for practice.
No,
I tried to go first time in the morning. Like first, like I wake up, I'm like, what's the earliest thing? And like to me it's 9 a.m. So like every day at 9. Um,
yeah, yeah,
I just like to get it over with, and then like you don't have to worry about, the
Hmm.
hard thing, like getting the energy, because like getting the physical energy for it, because I still do pretty hard workouts, and I'm like, I need to like, I want to make sure, I get that in. I feel good for the rest of the day. So yeah, I try to do 9 a.m.
my routine is do the first thing. The leave. I'm a morning person, so whatever I don't want to do, I try to do it in the morning, and that would be Spanish lessons.
Oh, I was like, that would be working out. What do you think?
No, I love it. It's
Hi,
great.
Tanara.
Control your what you do, and oh,
Yeah.
nice.
What's up
It's
to Nick
wild.
Mo?
It's wild. It takes a while to figure out, because like you've been like your day has been dictated for so long, and now like to have the freedom to choose, you're like, I don't actually know. Like my body doesn't never got to choose. Like now it gets to choose. Like am I gonna lift, run, or like what am I gonna do? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, no. And that's why I like the pre-planned every morning at 9 we have this alpha class. I'm like, I go, they tell you what to do, you do it, you're miserable, it's hard. And I'm like, oh, I'm at home.
Val, did you go through the stage where you just are like, F it, like, right when you're done, where you're just like, F it, I'm just going to not work out for a while? Because I,
Oh, well, I didn't work out for 3 months in the summer.
Okay,
as
got
soon
it.
as they're finished. I was like, no. And my first funny thing was I went to run around the park. I was like, let me just go. Like, I should go outside. I should do things. And I went, and it was a 3 mile loop. And I remember running and being like, what if I stop? Because I've never stopped before. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
just, you run, like, you come, you run because you have to, like, what is that? Stopping. And I was running, and I was just like, what if I stop? And I ran a mile, and I was like, I could do whatever the F I want. It was
Yes,
wild.
I had that moment too because I like went to lift and I looked at the weights and I'm like, I'm just gonna do a little dance. I don't even have to pick up this weight right now if I don't want to. There's no importance of picking this weight up if I don't want to. I definitely went through that. Like, yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
at it.
So
Maybe.
what's the motivation to work out now?
Oof,
Just to
that's a
look good?
I mean,
Is
all of it. Like,
it?
I mean, you feel good, you look it. To me, that's just like it's a part of my life to where like it's weird to not do it. Like, I don't like it. It doesn't feel good to not do it. Like, I think because now you realize like how much like what do you get like? Is it the serotonin endorphins?
endorphin,
Endorphins? Dear God,
endorphins.
I need to read more. But like, yeah, you get endorphins, but like you realize just your body feels it. I don't know. I don't like not working out. So like it was more of an experiment and more of like a FU, like my body deserves a break. It
Yeah,
wasn't like I hate working out. It was just
Right.
more of like a let me figure out myself. Um and not like, oh, I hate working out, like, because that's not the case. Like I still go every day. I enjoy it. So yeah, I think it's more
yeah,
of that.
yeah. When you stop, you realize you're like, oh no, my body actually likes to move. And maybe I,
Yeah, it's not nice. It's not nice to not work out. It didn't feel good. No,
yeah,
no,
Yeah.
no.
yeah, just sitting is really actually hard on your body. I mean, from my experience, I'm more sore. I got more sore just sitting for a week than like moving for a week. You know, it's a very drastic change, but yeah. So I think it's adapting and figuring out what works for you. Especially I've been playing with like different sports, you know, and just for fun. I think I
Hmm.
post that's just like paddle. They have this sport paddle, maybe tennis. You know, I'm really excited for the summer just to like explore different. Jory, I know you surf, no? You know, so it's just movement. Like go for a hike, like something that's moving your body. I don't have to like kill myself. Although
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. I think that's like the figure out the balance of like, okay, what days, like some days I'm like so tired because I take this, it's like a CrossFit light. It's not CrossFit, but whatever, like a circuit workout that has a cardio part, a lifting part. And sometimes I'm like, woof, like I'm tired. And it's just like figuring out your routine and like, okay, I can push myself these days on my light days. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to jog? Am I going to bike? It's just like too many options to where I think for myself, I get like overwhelmed.
yeah.
So I need a plan. If I have a plan, I'm more like, okay, and I build in breaks so that I don't have to get exhausted during the week and then be like, oh, I don't know what to do. So usually like on Thursday, I'm like, all right, just go take a yoga. Like, don't go crazy. But I still go work out 6 times a week. So
Wow, that's so funny you said that you're like overwhelmed with the options. I went to the gym the other day and I literally looked at all the cardio machines and I was like, I'm just gonna do 5 minutes each. And I literally just like 5 minute bike and then the one that kills me is the little things that I
the
mean this is
stepper,
The stair stepper.
it's a new playground, you guys. Like
yeah.
the actual things that were they're actual stairs that are moving, not the ones that are like
Whoops.
that is a killer.
Yeah, that one is so hard. Oh my gosh.
Stair stepper will get you right.
Yeah, yeah.
For
So
For
sure.
sure.
So
It's fun.
how you guys feeling after you are the first two episodes of the season of Unguarded? How did you feel around, the two episodes that came out? Were you satisfied with how we put it together?
yeah.
I think so. I feel Ange could have talked more. Hers was too short. I was like, she got more shit to say. Like,
Well, it was funny because I was like, we were on there for a while, so it was definitely an edited version. No, I was
Yeah.
like, wait.
We can release the extended version, no problem.
I was gonna maybe it's better edited though, because Jory and I went on seriously deep rabbit holes. Like,
Yeah, that was the best part though.
yeah,
the
it
deep
was.
rabbit holes are amazing. Like, I don't know. I think there's so much just interesting stuff that goes on that's like not necessarily uh it's like unscripted, like it's kind of, it comes up. It's not obvious, maybe, like it's not an
Mhm.
obvious question, and you like get to, you're like, wait, what? Like, let's go down. Like, this has nothing to do with that interview, but like, let's go down that, and
Oh,
it's,
Right.
yeah.
well, those are the
Any
best.
any any feedback? I mean, I
Hmm.
know, we're just starting out. We're a young tribe of have a little following right now, but
Yeah.
anybody have any feedback around your episode or the clip at least? I know everybody's just a scrolling generation, so maybe they at least caught
Yeah,
the
oh
clip.
God.
Rolling
Yeah.
generation. So true, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm too involved. Like, to me, it was interesting to hear like what Ange got to say. So like I listen because I'm already like on that side. Like, I can't wait to like get to Josh's interview. Like,
Mhm.
like I know it, so I feel like it's better to ask someone that doesn't maybe know it, is not as involved, to get
Yeah,
their like impression. Like, I already know what to expect, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna listen anyway. Um, so it's kind of hard to
yeah.
tell.
Well,
It's
we go ahead, Ange.
it's so true though. Like I'm so excited about what you guys are doing. Even now as a retired athlete, I'm like, oh, what's Weevolve up to? So yeah, I mean, even like I love that you're doing this retired athletes, not for retired athletes, but about retiring from sport because I feel like that's such a huge that transition is
There's
some
so much
all
interesting stuff.
so
Yeah, it's so there's so much interesting stuff. I mean, me and Ange talk almost every day on my way to the gym. Like, I wake up, there's always like 5 1-minute messages, and I'm like, oh yeah, girl, like I'm about to. And every day it's something new. We're like, hey, did you feel this? Or like, what do you think about this? Or like, I have never like considered this, and we're always
Mhm.
like, just it's all like we've been doing this like essentially since we retired. Like, for months, every day we were like, dude, what are you doing? What's going on with you? And
Yeah.
it's so interesting, honestly. Whoever, like, the one advice, like, if you have friends that retiring with you, clutch key, because meltdowns will, like, you're just gonna have a calendar of like who's having a meltdown today, and like you just need to help. And like, it's nice to be in the same boat and be like, all right, I'm okay. Like, I feel like I look at her, I'm like, okay, you're doing the same thing. All right, like, I'm fine. Like, because I trust that you'll be fine, so I know I'll be fine.
Yeah. So we might have to every episode add the new guest to this group session. Like
It
now add Josh to
seriously,
the group
community
session.
become a community therapist slash support group,
we do need that. I feel like Josh will have all his shit together, and I'll just feel bad. Josh needs to come editor. He's too well put together. I was like, Josh, I don't have my ducks in the row, man.
You don't know. He might have a breakdown. He feels comfortable. We've been building this,
Yeah.
small group for a while, so he might come out. But I'm technically selfishly doing this where by the time it's my time, I'll have like 20 people like, all right,
Dude, I don't think,
let
like,
me
I'm not
insert
sure that
myself into
you're,
this group.
yeah, I don't know, like, can you be like ready? You need a community, but like, are you ready? Like, I don't think, because I was as ready as you could be. Like, I've been preparing to exit for so long, but like, I'm still like, whew, this is rough, man. Like, I
Hmm.
mean,
yeah.
I cry once a month probably now. Like, before it was more, but like, it's, I'll cry it out, and I'm like, I got it. All right.
I know people are like, how is it being retired? I'm like, what day is it? It depends on the day, Like, one day I'm just like, yes, this is the best. Another day I'm like having a breakdown, like, why did I quit? What am I doing with my life? And
Oof,
in
yeah.
the middle, you just have like, okay, left foot, right foot, breathe. We got this. Take it one step at a time. So it's just
I
finding a way.
guess like you can't. I mean, I can't. I'm not there yet, but I know there's days I'm like, the universe is telling me like my energy is off when I walk in this gym. Like I need to do something else. But then it's also like I can feel that it's like that emotion where you're like, fuck, if I do this, what is about to happen? Like it's still I can feel it. That anxiety that comes, it's like I'm trying to master it before, but it's like I don't
Yeah.
think I'll be able to prepare myself fully for when I do say
Yeah.
it's done, because it's a journey that is gonna be kind of scary, and it's just like I'm trying to prepare myself.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, to go with Tanara is asking, like, did you do everything to prepare? Like, I certainly did. I had a plan since maybe, I don't know, 7 years ago. Like, I had a plan. I had a list of, like, what do I need to do? How much money I need to have for this, that, and the other. And, like, and I almost had everything, but obviously, like, I retired partially because of the war and, like, my life kind of, whatever, I had to do things. But I would say I did, like, yeah, everything. And I mean, like, the US immigration sucks, you know, like, but like I think I enjoyed playing, and I got literally to like the 99% of like the capacity I had for basketball. I don't want to go back and play. It's just the fact that like I can't work. I do know what I want to do next, but like it's stress of like I had enough money, and like I always knew that like I want to retire and take a year off, and that is like probably my biggest advice. Save enough money to
Yeah.
live for a
Yep.
year and not have to even like I don't care. Like, and then you'll find out maybe you want to take a course, maybe you want to get like travel, you want to do XYZ, but like you don't want to be pressed for money and do a job you hate, you know? Um, okay, hold on, let me read Tanara's about worrying. Like, I don't, you definitely, I feel like you should know that like your career is not forever. Do something to prepare. Like I know that I've done every single thing I can to prepare. I have like 75 degrees. Like I'm not stupid. I've talked to people that like in Austin, there's a lot of people in tech, and I kind of talk to them and like explain my whole situation. And they're like, "Oh my God, are you going to be very wealthy? Like, don't even worry about it." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, where, who give me that money? Where do I go? You know?" But they're like, "No, no, no, you'll be totally fine." So like, I feel confident that I've prepared, and mentally, like I got everything I wanted to get out of basketball, and I think now I'm actually warming up to it. I saw some little girls play the other day, and I was like, oh, I could coach them one day, like
Oh,
individuals. Like
yeah.
I'm coming back to like, because I really, that is my goal also to like not be bitter at basketball, because I think the things that I'm kind of like the what made me want to leave was the management, the things around basketball, not the game itself. Like I still love play, like I enjoyed and analyzing kind of like what did I enjoy about it, and I'm like, oh, like I still love basketball. It's like the things around it, you know.
mhm.
I'm right there with you, Val. It's been like a breath of fresh air coaching. I've got like 40 kids here that are just the sunshine every week of my week. I'm like, oh yeah. Like it's like at one point in my life I loved this game. That was probably my favorite from like 10 to 8, 9, 10 to 17, 18 before it got just buried in
Serious.
expectations and standards of performance and blah. So I just being around that again, just I really have I've loved it. It's been so rewarding. So and that just kind of came. I don't know. I didn't really ask too much for it. Like I'm over here in Spain, so I was like, hey, let's coach. Let's try to train some kids. And it's worked out great, and I really enjoyed it, and it's taught me a lot. So I definitely didn't prepare. So good job, Val. Way to prepare a little bit more.
I mean, I prepared, but like my life circumstances still like made me, I was like, it's what I retired April 30th. Like I haven't worked or received a paycheck since then. Like, and that's a little, it's like, yeah, cool, I'm enjoying it, but also like I can't enjoy it to the degree that I usually do. Like if you don't work for a year, even if I like saved enough money to know that like I'm okay for the next year, like I'm okay to like live a normal life, not to live our usual summer of like, oh, I want to go surf in Costa Rica and visit my friend in Italy. Like, no, girl, you're in Austin. I'll drive to Houston once in a while. Like,
Yeah.
we're here. Like, so that part of it is kind of like not as great, but like, I don't know. You just you make it what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta cry. You cry, you sad, and you come back to it. But like there's no regrets, it's like it's a step that needed to be taken. Like
Mhm.
so I feel like you'll have to do it at some point. Once you decide, it's like just decide and go. Like just go. And I'm fully retired. I moved to Austin even though I don't know anyone but one person in here. And I'm like, I don't know, it's just like it's new feelings, it's like new experiences, even the bad ones. I'm like, oh, I feel things. And I feel like, I don't know, Ange, how it is for you, but like, you know, when we play, there's just such a roller coaster of like
Yeah.
super like excited and just on the high, and then you're just like depressed the next day. And now it's just like,
Just
and
chill.
so like, honestly,
We're riding
sometimes when
the
I'm
waves for
sad,
ourselves.
no, yeah, so when I'm sad, sometimes I'm like, oh, feelings, nice.
Yeah.
Like, I get to feel things.
Oh, I didn't even think of that, Val. This is how this is me and Val over the WhatsApp. This is our conversation. You guys are all witnessing it. But that's so true. I didn't even
Yeah,
think
I'm
of
like,
that.
have you had any feelings?
So so many
That's
feelings, all the feelings. But even having like those high energy releases in basketball, I think taking
Hmm.
that away, I'm like, God, why am I moody? I'm like, oh, Ange, like, go work out. Like, why am I so moody? Like, maybe do some sprints. And I go and do some sprints. I'm like, there it is. I mean, obviously, I need to find a little bit better ways to balance these things. But yeah, everything, the whole transition. I feel you, Val.
Yeah, and that's why I like going to my like the alpha class. It's like it's super hard. Like on Monday we did like the CrossFit open workout, a modified
Yeah.
version. It was so hard. And after I'm heaving, I'm dying, I'm on the floor. I'm like, how is everybody even still alive? But like the pain felt nice. I was like, oh wow, I felt something.
Yeah.
Like that's not,
Mm.
you wake up and like it's nice. Like don't get me wrong, waking up in the morning and being like, I don't have to go to practice. Like I'm going to work out, but I don't have to go to practice. It's a great feeling, but like it's not up here or it's just like your standard. And I'm like, oh dear God, I need to like. So even when I cry, I'm like, ooh, nice. All right, there's feelings in there.
Exactly. I think Tanara had a great question with what would you say is the balance of enjoying the overseas life and planning, worrying, thinking about the future after basketball. I think you can have both. Like I'm curious.
Yeah,
Um, I didn't plan, so that kind of makes me curious if I'm doing right now, like if I would be taking the courses I'm taking now, learning Spanish, doing the things to prepare for the future while I was playing basketball. I wonder if it would almost help. Like maybe Jory, you can talk about that a little bit because you're probably preparing a little bit because I know Julie when she has work and things and she's like it's kind of a nice outlet and then you get on the court and you're fully on the court like it's almost like you're fully in the present moment. You're not like bringing it almost creates more of a balance maybe to have multiple things going on instead of just
Yeah,
basketball or just what we're doing, you know. So
definitely.
what do you
I think
think?
it's for sure an outlet. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
now it's a distraction from basketball, but also sometimes it's like I want to sit here and focus on that and not go to practice, so
yeah,
sometimes it can overlap where it's like, you know what, I'm ready to sit here and learn about freaking whatever
yeah,
data analytics. I want to figure this out. Like, wait, how do you create this algorithm? What are the unique ways we can use this? Like now my mind is like in a different state and it's like opening up so much that I haven't paid attention to that I would love to learn about.
yeah,
And it's like now basketball is kind of taking away from my time to invest in myself, even when we evolve outside of that. Like I know I'm interested in travel and leisure and it's like, shit, where do I start? Who do I contact?
Jory, I
Like,
hate to tell you, but you're ready to retire, buddy. You're ready to go. Because I
Yeah.
so
honestly, I felt the same because I was playing and I did like two different, three, four. Doesn't matter. I did some certifications. I did my master's, and like when I was doing all of that, yeah, okay. Every time me and Angie say a course, a certification, we're like take a shot because like that's how often we talk about
This course that I we're like, all right.
it. Every day it's a new course. I mean, right now I'm enrolled in like the Google's project management course, and I'm just like, just stop, just go do a thing. But anyway, when I was playing, I was doing my master's and all that stuff, and like you said, like I would go to practice, and I'm like, okay, like I have to write this paper after, and like how do I do da 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 da? And it's just like it is to me it was harder to switch and be like and care about basketball because I'm like there is so much other stuff going on. Like there's so much
yeah,
stuff in the world besides like and like for the game or for something maybe like I'll get a I'm kind of like oh yeah I could be focused, but like you know how sometimes the practice especially the morning one. I'm like, "Ah, I don't want to be here. Like, this is dumb as hell. Like, why do we need
Yeah.
2-a-days? I'm doing a dumb drill, dribbling backwards around the chair. Like, come on, man. Like, I'd rather be doing something else.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
those made it hard. Those I was like, yeah, okay. I could be doing better things. It's like I'm getting my master's. You know.
Yeah, no, the like once you hit a certain level, I think it's like I only need like 45 minutes in the morning to work on my skill, keep them up to par, and go home. Like
Yeah.
I don't need you. I don't need the yelling and the why
No.
is your face not passionate? No, I don't need to be
Oh,
passionate. I know what I need to do
This
to
is
go to the
it's
game
9
and win.
a.m. Like,
Like
leave me alone. Yeah.
so that stuff is like sometimes I have like that takes more energy for me to go into this space and be like, don't get annoyed, don't get agitated. Like it is what it is. Cause now it's like for me, I don't know. It's like the basic basketball talk is annoying. Like
It is. Yeah.
EuroLeague did this. I don't freaking care. Like
uh,
truthfully, like I don't care. Like who won EuroLeague? Am I playing EuroLeague? No. Like I
right.
don't care about the gossip. I don't care about who's doing what with who else. Like we have nothing else interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the biggest mental challenges for me is that I'm going to a space where the energy is just
Yeah. I
Not
think
life.
it's also like it's a small world, like basketball. And for me, that was always like a priority to like not get caught in like a small bubble, whether
mm,
it's like basketball, whether it's like where you're from, maybe, or I don't know, when you're in college, like your school, it's so small. And even now, I'm like, oh my God, this is the longest time in my life. Like since I left Ukraine at 14, this is the longest time I've been in one place. Like I didn't leave the country.
mhm.
And I'm just like, I want to make sure that I have the opportunity to go somewhere else so I get taken out of that like container and see other things. And I feel like
Right.
when we play, and for people who are like ball is life, you're just like, oh, blah, 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 won a game, or like this girl or guy played well, da, da, da. And I'm like, no fucking body cares. No one, guys, like I've been retired for 8 months. No one, not one
Yeah.
person that I've met asked me if I won a championship. No one cares how many points I average. Like it does not exist outside of your world, like in
Yeah.
basketball, whatever league you're in, like unless you're maybe like LeBron James or something, which none of us are. Like no one fucking cares.
Yeah.
Like literally none of my friends asked me this here, and like I don't know, I'm glad I never really like
Actually, one of the most humbling experiences, though, thinking that everybody cares, and then you get out in the real world and you're like, ta-da, nope, nobody cares.
Yeah.
not one,
Yeah.
not one part. Like the only thing I get is like I'm 6'4". Of course, people are like, "Oh, did you play basketball?" And I met some girl at the gym, and I had I don't know, like Connecticut Sun's shirt or something. She's like, "Oh, did you play?" Like I played for blah blah blah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Cool, I gotta go work out." And like I was in a rush, like I wasn't being mean, but like I was in a rush. But like that is
Yeah.
the only like basketball interaction I've had. So, anyways, my point is that it kind of is, I don't know, maybe it's almost like detrimental kind of, but like doing school and preparing, like it just allows you to see how big the world is, and you're not as like bogged down by like on court stuff,
Yeah.
which makes you kind of healthier. But like you healthier is not what the coaches want. They want
Yeah.
you to live and
Yeah.
breathe basketball. And I was never like that. I was always like, I remember
Yeah.
I was in Guernica when I was starting my master's, and I remember being in practice, and I was like, and I was studying like industrial organizational psychology, and basically my whole thing was like how to apply that to like basketball, how to like run a good company and be a good boss.
Mm.
Whew, I had a lot of material, let me tell you. So it was a lot of material, and I would just observe, and I was like, this is so dumb. I just want to go home and do like real life stuff. Like this is
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I don't
You
know.
discovering who you are and having a
Mhm.
life and interest away from the game is not something that they want to accept.
No.
Or maybe it will never happen. I mean, I know people talk about it, but it's just like until I think the people in charge like shift, it is a conflict of interest because
Yeah.
you saying, no, I need a mental break is not going to help the case of the coach that wants you 24/7 in the gym and wants you 24/7 thinking about basketball, even though it's shown and continuing to be proven that it's toxic as heck.
Yeah.
For us to
Right.
operate in that way.
Yeah.
That kills me.
No, they
Is
hate for you to be like interested in other things and like have your mind literally on anything. Like if even if you're like dating someone and like they're in the gym, they'll make a comment about it and it's like, dude, I have a life. Like I do other things, you
Oh
know?
man. That's the gossip for those that don't have a life outside of basketball is just like that's the hardest part. I mean, that's why I think you see the increase of athletes with only friends now. Like you can't even post anything without someone saying, "Oh, you went walk in the park? What
Yeah.
were you doing in the park?"
what?
Can I? Oh, I saw you in the park today, Jori. Shit. Can I go to the
Right.
park? Like, can I go to the park in peace?
Right.
You know, why do you have to know why I was in the park or why I went or where I'm flying to on my
Yeah.
off day?
Oh,
Like,
that
does
was
anyone else in the company have to report to their boss and who they work for to say, hey, by the way, on this weekend, I'm going here? No, you leave work and you go do your life and you come back to work. Only in sport is it this like little world of just constant gossip and what you doing. And it's like, it's those elements now, I think, because I've been around so long, it's like, it's just like, it's old now. Like, what are we talking about?
in the real world, you just get fired if you show up late, if you don't do, like it's not real life to micromanage as much as the sports world does, or not. I don't know. Even it's hard if a coach, you don't even know when your days off are, let alone now they're worried. They know the day off, but now they're going to wait to give you the day off till the day before. That makes no sense to me. Like
because they don't want you to plan your day off. It's
right.
like how, again, toxicity, that has to be the definition of toxic, that I'm not going to tell you your schedule because I don't want you to go anywhere. That is like, that's almost like, that has to be, there's a word for that. What is that called, smart people?
Slavery.
Like, I'm not going to tell you your days off or the times because I don't want you to go anywhere. Or I'm going to give you these days off, but I'm going to make the practice on in the morning so you can't go too far. And then the half a day off when you come back so you can't go too far. It's like, that is like manipulating the situation at its finest. And it's just like that. They know what they're doing with that. It's not a coincidence.
But it's super, so that is a part of my master's, like the thesis that I wrote. It was, you know, comparing like the basketball world to like what a normal, like good company would do. And things like that were like the most detrimental. And it's like it completely erodes like person's commitment to the team, to the organization, like their sense of freedom, autonomy, like all the kind of like the psychological things in basketball. And like it's ironic because that's what we need for the best performance. Like you need your mind to be there kind of, in addition to like sport being already like difficult, you know, like you need to prepare yourself, you have competition, blah 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 blah. The coaches kind of like push you down even more, you know. They create these like artificial stressful situations that don't allow you to flourish, to be like, to feel free. Basically like your mental state, it's like down several levels for no freaking reason because of those things. And they don't provide any help. Like, it's not like I've never had a psychologist, a mental something on the team. Like, I've never felt like psychologically safe on the team because A, you know, like you play a bad game or two, you go into the coach's office, like they, you know, you might get cut or whatever. You know that like your next year depends on your performance this year. Then you like don't have the off days. You don't know, you can't see your loved ones and friends. So it's a constant like tunnel of just basketball, and it's not realistic for anyone. I don't care, you know, who it is. And I don't know, that the more I started to learn about it, honestly, the more I was like, this is like, there is a better way. And like, I'm sorry, I'm not getting paid enough to like do the
to
BS.
go
And
through this
I'm in
torture.
Austin over here, and people my age are making like, I don't know, like freaking $150,000-$250,000, and I'm like, and you do what? You work from home and like you check in for 2 hours during like a meeting? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
And that's what I was like,
Because
oh
we're
my
in
God,
the bubble. Because we're in
I'm
that
wasting my
bubble.
life away.
The
Yeah.
bubble of thinking like, the bubble of like thinking like, okay, this is gonna help. This is gonna give me the money I need. I mean, you see a lot of people, they post get the bag, and it's like, well, actually, if we open our eyes, there are some bigger bags out there with less stress,
Much bigger bags that
and
come
when,
with a lot more like accessory things.
and
Like
safety and a little bit more security and stuff, you know.
Schedules in advance.
a
All these
schedule,
schedule. Any
off
schedule.
days, like oh my gosh, I know, like not killing your body. Not
Yeah.
like my back, so like my entire lumbar is like damaged from overuse. For now, I never had an injury or anything. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, who the hell is paying for these like
Yeah.
massages, chiropractic, whatever? Like, I don't have the money for it. Well, okay, I'm in this special situation, but like, nobody from these teams is calling me like, hey, like,
Yeah,
is your back okay after all these years? Like, no,
No.
I didn't make enough to like retire for the rest of my life and lay around on the beach. Like, I
Yeah.
have to actually work, and yeah, all of it. I'm grateful for the experience, but I think if I could have, I should have exited earlier, and just like being aware of like other opportunities out here that are so like interesting, rewarding, and pay like 3, 4 times more than what we've made playing.
hmm,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and there's like you have a trajectory up, like that's a starting like point, and I'm just like, man. And
yeah.
people do cool stuff. I met this guy. He's wait, a microchip engineer. He makes like the graphics for Xbox and PlayStation, like in the microchip.
Dope.
There's
Yeah,
so many
that's all.
jobs I don't even know what's out there.
Don't yeah, like don't even ask me more because that's all I could get.
Crazy.
And like obviously I don't know what he makes, but like makes hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then like plays in the band on the weekend and plays hockey during the week. And I'm just like,
Ugh.
and I was beating myself up. I have no friends. I'm in a different country. Like all this for what?
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's
Yeah,
it's just like, and that's I think that's insulated like the little world that we live in, that like you only have each other to compare yourself to, and the world is so big, and like there's so much
yeah,
cool stuff out there.
And that's the hard part is you don't know what's out there. I think that's
yeah,
part of
No,
like, wait, that's a job? Like, I think Val and I every now and then we'll hit each other with a job. We're like, have you heard of this? You know, I didn't even know what was out there.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
That's the biggest thing. Those alternative careers.
Yeah.
Those, like, I think right now, I think I tweeted this, that a lot of people are, the athlete transition. Sometimes they're posting like marketing coordinator for this pro team and this stuff. And it's like, I just think there's a very
it's
big
limiting.
market
Yeah.
in the very alternative jobs that are out there. Like I went to the beer and beverage festival here in Italy, and I met this guy. He was American. I'm like, oh, hey, what do you do? He's like, I work for the Beer and Beverage of America or something like that, and I travel around and bring companies from America who want to export their beverages of beer in other countries. And I was like, wow.
What's it
Like,
called?
Job.
and I was like, I mean, these are things like, that's the type of programs, like set up something for players
Yeah.
that are all in these countries and they can connect with these. He's like, we have it for everything: wine, nuts, all types of food and beverages that
Yeah.
people work for, and they travel, it's paid for, you make good money. And it's like, that's a very alternative career that you don't see publicized, that we could even tap into for an experience. Not that we would end up doing this, but at least it can be like, hey, who would
Right.
like to go volunteer for a day if it matches your schedule? This
Yeah.
is open. You can click here, join and learn about a whole new world of careers that exist. I think that's what needs to be created for athletes, where we can immerse ourselves in these experiences in line with our playing career, because some of these things we won't retire and be qualified for the VP of
Yeah.
marketing at the Lakers.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm glad to
Yeah.
know it's a job opening, but I'm not qualified.
Yeah. No.
Also,
And
you would be surprised how many people are not qualified, and how much we're overqualified, because from what
oh,
I'm learning and talking to other people,
yeah.
the soft skills that we learn from, teamwork, like self motivation, all these things, they're way more valuable because they're so much harder to teach. Like they can teach you how to market. Like they could teach you how to create a whatever thing, but it's hard to teach like how do you take criticism?
Mm.
How do you recover after a failure? Like it's very hard. And like I'm reading like now someone like the job descriptions, and at the beginning I was so intimidated. I was like, I'm not qualified for me and Ange talked about it. I'm not qualified for anything. My stupid degrees, like they all require experience. And when I talked to one of my friends who did this thing, she hired people for a tech company, she was like, oh no, like somebody will take a chance on you because you have these, like you can learn whatever their program is, but like you need to have the baseline of skills of like motivation, like self-starting, being whatever responsible, and like being able to work on teams. That's like huge. And I think at the beginning I was just like, I have no skills, and now I'm like, girl, like if you don't start pumping yourself up, like
yourself up.
Guys, I meet some of these people out here,
yeah,
and I'm like, I'm sorry, you do what? And like you can't handle, like it rained today and like you lost your shit because like the weather changed. Like, are you kidding me? I see some of these people and I'm like, there's no way. There's no, I'm sorry.
No, I'm actually seeing it. I'm still obviously active, but I'm also building, evolving, engaging with people to help us build this thing. And it's like, and Julie, first of all, for those on here who don't know Julie, that's my business partner. But you guys know Julie, and with Julie and I, we both work well because our person, like, we don't need to be like, how are you? How you doing? We like get to the point, like, what do we need to do? All right, let's get it. Boom. And it works for us. However, we're learning that some people, like, they just don't know how to just like take direction and go do what they got to do. It's like you need to break everything down. And for me, I'm like, isn't that common sense? And Julie and I like, yeah, isn't it common sense? And it's like, no, but these people have been in tech or whatever for all this time. And it's, sorry, my phone. But it's just like some don't know how to take that initiative to like, it's okay. You can break the rules. Like, yes, this is what we want, but you can bring back some new ideas. You don't have to do exactly this, or or sometimes it's like, I did this and it's like I worked so hard, and me and Julie like, what? that was hard, like shit. If that's hard work in the other world, we good, because
I'm telling you,
we know how to work hard.
And I'm like, that was difficult. Cool. And then another thing that's funny that I talk to like my friends about, it's this like the need to like just carry everybody on this like a delicate flower. Because I'm kind of like, I'm very direct. I'm like, hey, what are we doing? Okay, you do this, let's come back together.
Sure.
People need this like, how are you? Do you feel good? Okay, well, would you mind, like, would it be any trouble for you to like, open your left and right eye to look at this paper? And like, and I'm just like, oh my God, we're wasting like 25 minutes for me to get to like the request, because I have to prime you for this like ask that will require some kind of like output of energy from you. And I'm kind of like, hey, you need to like write this report, this wasn't very clear. Give me the thing and I'm gonna go. Like, I don't need you to, just be like, oh, are you okay? Can you handle this? It's very like, people have no resilience. Zero
resilience.
Zero. Which is not a course,
But this is part of like, this is so important to talk to athletes about, because it's a part of like advocating for us. We've never had to advocate. Like, we've never had to be like, this is what I'm good at. We're like, here's a film of me doing my job. You me, it's like me and Val were talking. We're like, we used to have an agent. Agent would call and say, I got a job for you. And now we're like, we could sit here and never get a job. Like, this is like, like we need to actually, we have to advocate for ourselves. We have to, say, promote ourselves almost. And it's a new thing for athletes to transition into, for sure.
I do miss an agent. I do miss a good agent, man. Because I'm like, what do I do now? Like, I don't have anyone to ask. I'm literally walking around and I'm like, oh, hey, like, how did you get your job? And like, hey, how do you do that? Like,
Hey, who do I
So
need
stupid.
at work? Who do I need
Yeah, I'm just like resume. Cool.
Mm,
How to write a resume? Like, yeah,
right.
some
Yeah.
stuff I'm like that would be good things to like learn kind of before you retire. Like just basic stuff of like how do you even make a resume out of like I only played basketball. Like, okay, but there's still like I said, those soft skills, like they need to be emphasized and
Yeah.
highlighted. Like obviously you don't have like work experience, so like uh, hard. Hard. I don't know. To me it is because like I've never been plugged into like the real world, so kind of very like big-eyed, like, oh my God, I don't know, like I don't know what exists. Like I have to read up on like what job descriptions, not descriptions, job titles mean, and like the different nuances, and I'm like, oh God.
That's I mean, even for us of knowing what we need for we
Mm-hmm.
both, when people say, well, what do you need? And I'm like, well, like the branding, we were meeting with a brand strategist and just kind of like, what do you need? And I'm like over here Googling like, okay, there's a brand creator, content creator, there's a strategist, there's a brand designer, like which one is what, who does
What?
what? Like there's so many freaking titles as a creative
Yeah.
director. What's the difference? I just know I need this, but who is going to do it?
All I
Period.
Dude, and like it,
post point guard and
right.
Yeah.
guard. I don't know all this.
And you have to do everything. No, I did find that like people, a lot of people super duper specialize. Like the guy that was doing the microchip thing, he's like, microchip is this big. There's a team of over 100 people working on this microchip. He's like, I do a tiny part of that microchip job. Like
Is
the job is so super duper specific that you can't even like, be like, oh, I need a microchip for my phone. It's like, cool, you need to hire over 100 people. And they do
wow.
I don't know. I don't know what they do, like things. So it's like it's amazing really how many people like super duper specialize, and I have a kind of like a trouble with that too, figuring out like, okay, what I don't know, like A, I don't know the things that are out there, and B, like, do I want to super duper specialize in a thing like that just like for the rest of my life work on, one element of, I don't know,
Mm,
like creating the little
Yeah.
sign on a driver's license? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's crazy. But before, I know we're coming up on time, so we got to
yeah.
discuss, since we all three collectively agree about the psychedelics experience,
We
and
sure do.
there is one agent that came out, an NBA agent who also went on his own psychedelic experience, and he was public about it. So I think it is a growing thing in the sport world where maybe it
Hmm.
might be something that athletes start to partake in for
They should.
just far as like, I don't know if you're transitioning, getting help, or maybe if you have injuries or whatnot. So we're gonna have to make this thing happen.
I highly recommend, even if like all you can do is do it in the summer, I feel like there's value in just like even if you do it once, like if you've never done it, whatever, like a dose of whatever. I mean, I do like weed and shrooms, but like just to do it, just to see like what comes out of you, and like just to get the experience of like the other world, the other side of your consciousness, whatever you want to call it. It's so to me, it's so profound. So when I was overseas, like obviously, like I'm not doing any of that because like it's my job. Like I don't
Right.
do it, but at the same time, I had the experience, so I'm able to kind of like dip back into it, at least know what's possible.
Mm.
Because if you never know and you wait until the end, like, oh my gosh, that I think you would regret it. Like, and I really wish we had those tools available to us to deal with all the crap that I've mentioned, like that, all the just the psychological stress of it all. Like, I think that would have helped me so much. And not like I think because people think like, oh, you're gonna be uh, you know, come into practice high or whatever. Like, no, bitch.
No.
Like,
Right.
I know what I need to do to perform well. Like, I don't want to be there like high or drunk. Like, it hurts. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do it. So like, but the experience is so freaking worth it. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would take that over, as we know how many prescription drugs and stuff players are usually addicted to, players that pop pills before practice and games, like what that's doing to your body. So it's just like, you know, it's just kind of time to introduce some other alternative things for players instead of prescription drugs, because it's one, harmful to our bodies, and then constantly partaking and taking that stuff is like has lasting effects on us.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some players that have it's done more damage to them than it's helped, and so it's definitely something. But we need to maybe find a location where we could have a little athlete
Retreat.
getaway.
Guys, I have a shaman in Austin. He's amazing. I've done like 3 sessions, but he does
You got this podcast, Jori. The one that we've listened to that sold you on it was
yeah, no, I have to share it. He's great. He's great, but he does peyote ceremonies, and this year he's doing it at the end of April in Mexico, and it's not expensive, so it's a group thing, and I think he said it was like $333, and it's a 10-hour, like it's an all day long thing. Like you pay your way to like get there, obviously hotel, but like the actual ceremony per person is like 300 something something.
Yeah.
I would love to do it. I can't go to Mexico, nor do I have money, but I'm definitely doing it. But great guy, works with a lot of athletes. He's like, I'm slowly becoming like the athlete's shaman because like he has a few like ex NFL players. Then he had me. Yeah. Well, because the guy that did the podcast, he's an ex NFL player. So he said he's had, because of him, quite a few ex athletes, whatever. Yeah, and super good. Listen, I had a fantastic, like, great time with him. He was expensive and like it was worth it. I didn't do the psychedelic ceremony. I just did like the shaman stuff. But I already have a person if we need it.
Okay.
And,
well, I really want to do something this summer. Even if everyone can't come, but if you've heard of a location where I can go, I can't make it to Mexico into April because of basketball.
Well, no. But and I'm sure, right? But I'm sure if we have enough people, he would do it. Like, we can pick a location, and I'm guessing like it has to be where peyote is like.
We should just do a whole retreat for athletes. That would be amazing.
Well, where can you get to? Where can you go?
Well,
okay, I'm not talking about tomorrow. This is like in the near future. Okay, guys, I can also organize it. I'm a halfway project manager now, so I can organize it and help you, you know, and send him to you. But
halfway project manager, holla.
3 years.
Yeah, I'm halfway through. I'm more than halfway through my course, but you know.
All right, so we definitely need to make this happen because I would love to go to like Costa Rica or somewhere and do it, and then just like go throw my body in the water and just let it all sink in. But you know, we can find a place. But Ange, you're not coming to the States this summer? You staying?
No,
in Spain?
Yep, my parents are coming to visit. I'm hoping in the fall, maybe. I gotta make sure all my paperwork goes through and everything. So staying.
Same.
There.
So I think when me and Ange are like full legal residents of whatever country we're in and have a job, we can start planning. Until then, this is gonna be like this.
Yeah. Hopefully resident.
All right.
We'll see. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
I know.
We'll stay in contact. And then I know I've gotten the message a few times. We got to do the weight sessions again.
We do. I'm like, what is everybody up to?
It's the time, you know, it was always a problem of like who had practice, can we do it? And then, you know, Julie and I are on a mission to get this application out for beta testing. And so
tell us more about that. When's that coming out? Or?
So we're doing initial testing, like Julie and I and some of the individuals now. And then once this next update with everything there for the most part, then we're going to start letting, you know, our core team get in there, test with us, and then we'll just slowly keep building, as they say, building in public, adding people until launch, you know, just as testers, we'll be able to be active on it. The goal is to test it for like a year, so we won't launch publicly, but we'll be in beta testing. So this summer for sure, or in the season soon, everybody will be able to start getting in, and we see what the creation is worth to the community, you know.
Yeah,
but it has
that's
been
exciting.
It has been a journey. I don't know how many times I was like, yeah, all right, I need everyone's Apple ID. We're ready. And then it's like, nope, we're not. Like, we need to update this thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, talk about a roller coaster and trying to navigate a new space with no background, but we're doing it. We're making it happen, and we're on our way. So soon, we'll.
So cool. Yeah.
But yeah. Well, we're coming up on the time. I could talk to you guys forever.
I know. I was like,
But
seriously, two of my favorite people to have conversation with. So I was like, can we do this? I know it's great live, but like, we can do this some other time too.
Yeah. I'll send you those 6 voice notes back to back pretty soon, Ange. No worries.
We'll start a group one and really get it going.
Listen, the key is to listen on a 1.5 speed. That is what we've discovered. I'm like, Ange, it's like 6 minutes, and I'm like 1.5. Just.
I'm a slow processor. Sometimes I have to, verbally.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. We will obviously, of course, be in touch. Appreciate y'all always supporting the Wevolve crew.
Yay. It's been a pleasure. We'll be waiting for the await.
Yes.
Restart.
We'll get on it.
I miss it.
We'll get on it.
All right, y'all.
All right.
We'll work out.
All right.
My workout thing. Bye, y'all.
Peace.